This is my 2007 GMC Sierra 2500 HD Duramax. You saw about a month or two ago I did the video on the headlights. Ever since then, haven't really done much with the truck. It's just been a good daily, and I've actually grown to really like this truck a lot. So you're going to be seeing this a little bit more on the channel now, at least for the next few videos, because I have a lot of plans. So I'm going to get into that in another video. So today we're going to be jumping into the interior actually and doing a couple small mods in there that I think will look really good when we're done. One being a DSP-5 switch that I can do a 5 tune from EFI Live, which will give me better fuel mileage, allow me to do a DPF delete and that kind of thing. And the other thing, I want to do a switch panel. So I'm actually going to show you here. Now these trucks from factory don't really have a good spot to put a switch panel, in my opinion. There really isn't any like good flat spot anywhere that'll make it look good. Even at the top, there's not really any overhead console. There's not really a good spot to put it unless you go down here. Now this is a earlier model of this body style, so I don't have buttons here. Later ones have like exhaust brake and traction control and adjustable pedals here, but I don't have anything. I just have this button here that actually doesn't do anything, and then I have an open spot here. And I had this laying around. Now this is from another truck I used to have. It was from an 09 Silverado, and turns out it's actually the same piece. So I'm going to be modifying this one so that I won't be cutting up my good one out of this truck in case something bad happens to this one. I was trying to figure out the best way to go about doing this. Now I want to put 3 round switches in here. I have the switches, not with me at the moment, but I'm trying to figure out something easy, a good way to mount it in there as well. And then actually I came across this steel bar here, and if this will stand up, it fits perfectly inside of there. So I will try this steel. If this steel doesn't work, it'll probably end up being made out of plastic. And then, yeah, I'll round these corners off to match these corners in here. I'll probably cut the end off of this so that I can route wires through it. And then try to make something that fits in there flush, and then I'll probably end up welding some sort of bracketry to the back of it to hold it into here. And just like that, I now have a piece cut to size. It's a pretty tight fit. I might shave down one of the ends just a little bit, make this a little nicer to slide in here, but I'll cut the end off and then I'll figure out some sort of way to bolt this into the plastic. So I actually decided that this is such a tight fit in this plastic that I'm just going to leave it as a friction fit. It definitely will not move. It won't go anywhere because there's not a whole lot of force being put on these switches, so not a big deal. I'll leave it like that. Now, I went ahead and I went and got the switches, and I think it's gonna be a little bit too tight to fit 3 of these in here. Yeah, I could have got smaller switches, but I really like these ones. So, like, I could fit all 3 of them, but then these nuts on the back would be hitting each other and it would just be too much all in one spot. So I'm gonna take one out, maybe put it somewhere else, but I really only had intentions of using the 2, and then the other one was going to be a spare. So do something like that. I'll just have to do a little bit of measuring, figure out where the holes are going to go. Then I can drill these holes and put these switches in and see how it looks in there. So it's a good thing I only decided to put 2 switches in here, because after drilling this hole, I messed this piece up. I put the holes too close together, but if I were to try and fit 3 into here, there would pretty much be no steel left. And it would be a really, really tight fit, and it wouldn't look very good. So I did it again. I put them in a better spot, and looks not bad. Not quite centered, but being that it's like this far away from you, it's not going to be a huge deal. And like I said, like, it's in there really tight. Like, you can push the buttons and nothing moves, so that should be all right. So I'll pull the switches back out and pull this panel back out. I'll just paint it flat black, probably blend in with this plastic, and then I'll have to start wiring the truck for these pigtails here that came with the switches. These are actually just off Amazon. It's a really nice switch setup when you have a nice pigtail like this rather than those stupid little spades connectors. The metal piece I made, I just quickly came in here, wired these up. Just ran the wires through beside where all this factory one is, and then it just goes down underneath, and I have it all going to this box over here. I have one of these is going to be wired to constant power, so I can turn on whenever. One of these is wired to ignition, so that I can only turn on whatever device is hooked to it when the key is on. And I have a special plan for that, and you'll have to wait and see. But the one with the constant power going to it will be for the rock lights. So the paint should be dry on another piece. I'm going to quickly put that together and then throw that in here, and then hopefully the wiring works correctly. So I got it all assembled, and it looks pretty good. The flat black matches the rest of the trim really well, so it almost looks OEM actually. And so when you push this, that's the one attached to constant power, so it's always going to be on. Now this one, when you hit it, nothing happens. Now if I turn the key on, I get it to work. And now when I shut the key off, that one shuts off, this one stays on. So it all works. I'm not actually hooking up the ends to anything just yet. That'll come in a future video, so these are just going to get tucked up under the dash under there. But now the other thing I want to get accomplished in this video was mounting this DSP5 switch. I got this from Dirty Diesel Customs, so shout out to them. Shipped it out to me super quick. They're also in Canada, so super quick shipping, which is always good. So here you have the switch itself. In this bag you have the knob and the sticker faceplate that tells you what tune you're on, and then some wire loom, which is also always a good thing to have. So basically, I've done this before. You pretty much go in here. Down there is your ECM. You'll want to unbolt that, bring it up, and then unclip one of the connectors. I don't remember which one. Looks like there's two. I don't remember which connector it is, but you basically tap into two unused pins in the ECM. That's what these two are for. And then when you turn the switch, it changes the resistance between the two pins, which tells the ECM which tune you're on. So basically, it's a fairly simple setup. You end up drilling 2 holes in your dash to mount this, and then run the wires through the firewall somewhere over there, up, and then into your ECM, and then simple as that. So I am going to get started with that. Decided I want to mount it right in there. It's fairly hidden, but it's also a nice flat spot. In these trucks, there's not a whole lot of nice flat spots to mount it on. So this is kind of the best spot that I could think of. And what's kind of nice is this kit actually comes with a template. Tells you exactly where the holes need to be and what sizes they need to be. So it's really hard to mess this up. As long as you put it right where you want it, that's exactly where the switch is going to end up. So I'm going to drill these holes, and then I can mount the switch in there.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.
That was actually super simple. ECM just clips into this bracket. You have a clip there and a clip there. Pull them up, the ECM will come out, and then you kind of pop it up once you have your battery cables out of the way. And then pull the plastic cover off the top. You're looking for pins 46 and 54 for the LBZ and the LMM Duramax. And this purple piece, it doesn't say it in the instructions, but you have to pull this out. It'll just clip in. Here, I'll just show you. It pops like that, and then you just slide this whole piece out, and then that allows you to slide the pins in. This is basically stopping all the pins from coming out. So you pull this out, then you push your pins in until you hear the click, and then if you pull them just softly, they shouldn't come out because they have a tab on them to lock them in. And then once you're done, you just slide this, if I could get it, slide it back into the connector, and then it locks in like that. Simple as that, and then these do not come out. Then you just want to put that plastic cover back on top and wrap this in the wire loom and route it up into your cab. So I have it all clipped back together, ECM's back down there, put the wire loom on it and routed it over into the firewall, and yeah, you can't even really tell it's there other than the fact that this is brand new wire loom as opposed to the dirty stuff. But just run this beside the fuse box. When we come inside here, the instructions say on this switch, there's a little button on the back, this white button here. Now they say if you leave this in position 1 and then you turn the key on, if I can do this with one hand. So key's on, when you push the button, you should get that green light down there. If you have the pins in the right spot, which obviously I must if I'm getting the light to turn on. So that means everything's wired correctly, and I can just finish my installation, putting the switch in there with the faceplate. And here's what the completed install looks like. Got the knob on here, got it tightened up. You don't want to go too tight, obviously. You're just threading it onto the plastic shaft there, so you really don't want to over tighten this. You just need it enough that it'll catch and hold. And I have all 5 positions. Honestly, it's a really easy install. This probably took me less than an hour. I have done it before, so if you haven't, it might take you 2 hours max. It's honestly a really easy thing to do. And you got to keep in mind, this switch does nothing by itself. You need the tune from EFI Live in order to actually make this switch do something. So right now, this switch is really just in there for looks. It's not doing anything for me. So that's going to conclude yet another video on the channel. Again, that switch panel is very one-off and custom, so it is what it is. But that DSP5 switch, that'll work on any LBZ or LMM, or actually I have the sheet right here. This specific one works for LB7, LOI, LBZ, or LMM. So basically anything from 01 up to 2010 on the Duramaxes has the exact same DSP switch, just different spots on the connectors. So yeah, hopefully that install helped a little bit. Wasn't too descriptive, but again, it's only 2 wires. It's not that big of a project. So hopefully that helped. If that helped, drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, because that helps a lot. And we got a lot more coming with this Duramax. These next few videos are going to be primarily this truck. I have a whole lot planned. I'm not going to say too much right now, but I've been planning for these last few weeks and parts are starting to come in. So hopefully we can get this thing looking completely different in these next few weeks. So with that being said, guys, we're going to see you in the next one.